I'm going to turn it back over to my brother. We was talking about how we support these rappers and support our own destruction instead of our teachers who die poor. So my brother RFG, take the mic and bless him some more, man.
Absolutely, man. It's really sad, what happened to us as a people over, a 450-year span. But, just like a child, after a child getting a spanking, you have to step back and realize, what went wrong in that situation. And you got to grow up, okay, and accept reality for what it is and come back together, put the pieces together, okay, and move forward, okay. I believe that was a pretty good analogy because, we have trauma. We have concentrated trauma in our whole essence, okay, as a people in America. So we got to put aside the hate. We got to stay away from agents that are put in place to keep the hate in our hearts so we can't unite on a global scale and overthrow the people who are trying to do away with all races, with all melanation, okay? Not only are they going to do with the originals that are melanated people in America and Africa, who do you think is going to be after that, people? The Hispanics, the Native Indians, the darker skin and lighter skin Asians and Arabs. I'm telling you, it's going to go all the way down to humans mixed with robots. That's going to be the slaves of the New World Order, people. So like I've been saying, just when people like me and my brother here are going out of our way day and night to put things together to raise the consciousness of our people, we expect, some kind of respect, from our subscribers, okay? Especially not for some of our subscribers to try to demean us and try to badmouth and disrespect us for no reason.
I'm glad you brought that up, my brother, because what I want to say with that being said is that I respect some of these Christians more than I respect some of the people in the Black Conscious movement, man. You know how many black people in the Black Conscious community come up to me and say, nigga, you a coon, fuck you, and I spit in your face. Christians come at me and say, brother, I'm going to pray for you. Much love. I don't agree with that. Jesus is God. I'm going to pray for you. See, y'all, we can't lose our compassion from one another and let our knowledge feed our ego. We got to learn that sometimes we going to disagree, but we don't have to hate each other, y'all, because of it.
I'm glad you brought that up because that brings me to an analogy that was brought up by Mr. Umar Johnson. And he stated, okay, we as a people are getting rid of the Willie Lynch chip, but we have not yet gotten rid of the data processor that takes the information from the chip. Okay. And for that, to clarify that is we've gotten information that we are gods. Okay. And that these people are trying to oppress us. We're descendants of gods and we fell from grace. Okay. But information doesn't change a person. You have to get rid of demons. You have to confront demons. You have to confront your past and confront your fears. Okay. And you have to unite with like-minded people on a united front. You have to progress your consciousness, okay, and change who you are as a person, okay, yeah. And then you can accept the information and progress with actions, okay. The Creator sees things through actions. You can say whatever you want to say. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but until you start taking action and start putting your feet forward, the Creator isn't going to grant you with anything. You're not going to get anything, okay, until we start coming together on a united front with love and unity, okay, and just understanding of every other race on the planet, which is our children. So like I've been saying in my previous videos, man, I want everybody to love themselves and love everybody else on the whole human scale, on the whole planet. And we need to understand that 2% of the world population is playing us. They're playing us, people. Oh, man. Okay, and this is really deep, okay? So like I said, peace and love.
One thing I want to say on top of my brother, speaking on hip hop, like my brother was saying, previously, I was blessed by the brother Sal at Debate Talk for You radio station. Shout out to brother Sal, Blog Talk Radio. I had a live interview on the radio station concerning the conspiracies in hip hop. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description, so just click on it and check it out afterwards. One thing that I want to make note of to y'all hip hop fanatics is that hip hop started off a culture. It became rap music, which is now a corporation, people. Let me tell y'all something, man. Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live. Hip hop is a lifestyle. And I'm going to tell you, like I said in the previous video, hip hop means higher infinite power healing our people. Rap means rhythm and poetry, and it's an industry. But I'm going to tell y'all something. All of this was started by Freemasons. I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe, but guess what, y'all? I'm going to tell y'all something I want explained to me. Why is it a standard for every verse in hip hop to be 16 lines? Don't you know 4 times 4 is 16? And when you deal with the 4 times 4, you dealing with the square that the Masons stand on and the checkerboard. Don't y'all know it ain't a conspiracy that every rapper is a damn Freemason? Yep. So we got to wake up, people. A lot of these rappers are on clothing lines with Freemason symbols all in it, man. So with that being said, look, we just going to keep on letting it roll. I'm going to ask my brother RFG a question. In the previous video, back on the topic of racial unity, one of your videos, you said we're the children of Israel. Yeah. One thing I want you to point out about that is that a lot of people are going to say you're a Hebrew Israelite, because they say we the children of Israel, and they got a whole chart of the 12 tribes, which break down to the races of all of our other melanated brothers and sisters. What you think about that, man?
Well, when you delve into the name and the etymology of the whole world, a word Israel, okay? Israel is a Kemetic name, okay? When you break down the suffixes and the prefix, you get the IS from Isis, you get the RA from Ra, the sun god, you get EL from El, the bull gods that fertilize the earth. That's all Kemetic on the Egyptian walls. So, like I said in the previous video I did with Bro Sanchez, if Israel was separate from Kemet, why, and you know, I just stated that Israel is an Egyptian name, why would the Egyptians name the peasant people who were slaves and peasant people in Egypt, why would they name them after Egyptian gods? That's complete contradictory. Okay, you guys need to wake up and do your research, because even the name Hebrew and Jew is all European. Okay, you're really saying you, because the word J didn't even exist until 1600. Yep. So you guys really need to think of things in a broad perspective. And even the first Bible translation, you waited 1,408 years to write about the greatest man who ever existed. It doesn't make any sense, people. It makes no sense.
I tell people all the time, my brother, and I'm going to pass this mic back to you because you on a roll, man. I tell people all the time, though, that this man walked on water, turned water to wine, and we can't find no historical documentation of this guy other than the Bible. Now, we can find documentation of great men all around the world who lived during the time of Jesus, but we can't find any of that documentation about a person who walked on water.
If we're sending robots to Mars to get soil samples and bring them back so we can touch the soil samples from Mars, where are the descendants of Jesus? Wouldn't that be something to brag about, people? Hey, you know how family tradition is passed from generation to generation. So why wouldn't it be known for a certain portion of people to know if they were kin of Jesus? And if they were kin of Jesus, wouldn't that be something to brag about, that you are a direct blood descendant from the greatest man who ever existed? Come on, people. It's time to start questioning what you've been taught by your oppressors. Because when you talk about Jesus, you're really talking about baby Zeus, a.k.a. Serapis, and the real perfect manifestation of a human was actually a man named Enoch who lived in Babylon, and the Roman Catholic Vatican government detached that story out of the Bible on purpose, people. They don't do anything for no reason, okay? They chopped people's heads off for trying to get the Book of Enoch put back into the Bible. And when Hitler found out who Arius really was, that's when he woke up, and the Jewish media portrayed Hitler as a damn devil when all he was doing was what the damn Zionist Khazar Jews paid Hitler to do. It's not rocket science, people. It's really not rocket science.
Arius was a black man from Libya who opposed the Vatican in ancient times. He went around telling people that this image of Serapis that we're worshiping is actually a created image that was made by forced slave labor. When the Vatican made the Catholic prayer that say he was begotten of the Father, you got to think about that. I don't have to go around telling people around me I'm begotten by my Father. When they look at me, they know I had to have a daddy. So why did they have to put that in the Nicene Creed? Because there was a group of people going around saying, hey, where's his lineage? Where's this guy's bloodline at? All we got is a statue, but no body or no bloodline to link this statue to. And we all under the spell today. What is that spell? What you call the gospel. We call it the ghost spell. So you under the spell of the ghost. And that's the ghost of Zeus, man. A lot of people ain't going to take what we saying, but it's the truth. All you got to do is do a little research. Now, I want to get off of Christianity for a minute. We're going to hop around on this one. And I want to touch on something else if I can think of it. I want my brother RFG to speak on, go in a little detail on the Atlanteans and their connection with America. And we know there's a city called Atlanta and Memphis. And to my understanding, a brother by the name of AWOL Productions stated that the Mississippi River was just like the Nile River, a cultural highway system. And before we get into that, let me speak on something else. That for you Hebrew Israelites who saying that the pyramids was built by slaves, that mean that they gave these slaves a lot of knowledge and information. We know that slaves were not allowed to even read. So for them to build a pyramid will put them on the knowledge of gods. That's like saying that they will let prisoners build the World Trade Center.
Yep, that's a perfect analogy. And when you talk about Atlantis, you're talking about Lemuria, which goes back to the prefix mu, and it was connected to the Ivory Coast of Africa, because Atlantis was a piece of the United States. It was in between the United States and Africa. So when Pangea split apart, you had an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, okay, that was extremely large. And these beings were the first beings that got the energy and the knowledge of the gods from the Sirius star system, okay? And they were able to use about 90% of their brain, and they were masters. They were masters at their craft. They were master builders. They could astro travel. If you've ever seen that cartoon Dragon Ball Z, that's the level of power that the Atlanteans had. A lot of these cartoons that Disney has a hold of and Cartoon Network have a hold of are actual reality fact. Because a lot of these owners of these corporations like Disney and Cartoon Network, they're part of secret societies that tell our ancient Kemetic ancestors true knowledge. So that's where they get the knowledge from, people. It's all set in stone, and they're just holding the history back from us so we can fail to understand who we really are on a large scale of things. But like I said, when you go called the Atlanteans, they're still Africans, but they were the first Africans that got the knowledge from the Sirius gods and the Sirius stars. We look on the large scale, their electromagnetic energy was more potent than any other group of peoples on the planet. And this goes into my whole Star Wars lecture. When you look at how a Jedi was put on a scale of power, the Jedi was measured by his level of midi-chlorians in his blood, and the midi-chlorians can be weighed over to the melanin. In this third dimension, it can be called the melanin scale, okay, which gives us our power for our electromagnetic aura around our body.